W too is, here's the question, since you're so deep in NWA, is do you happen to know the situation with when NXT ends up on the CW? What is up with NWA and the CW on the app? Is there a cutoff date of, hey, once NXT starts, you're done? Or these are two completely separate deals and they have nothing to do with each other?
Well, I would say they're two completely separate deals. Now, let's make mention that Billy announced a few weeks ago that there's another TV deal that has been made.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily mean anything affecting the CW. It is separate. But I guess what I'm going to flip back to you is even us at the NWA, we could sit there and speculate a million things. Right now, it's just we're doing what we're doing, status quo, and we have things that we're adding, and we'll just see how it, what goes where. And I think that's fair, and I think it's in everyone's best interest. So, as far as I can say, there's no set plan affecting your question.
Okay. Because, over the weekend, too, there's a video of Billy Corgan and Drew McIntyre in Scotland shaking hands, making a little Simpsons reference there. Yep. But yet, this has opened up the floodgates of speculation because recently TNA and the WWE have started a working relationship back at Royal Rumble, but now with Jordan Grace from TNA involved in a recent NXT PLE. Now we see Billy Corgan and Drew McIntyre shaking hands. This has only speculated the fact that now, if the WWE is going to work with TNA, Noah, why not NWA?
Why not?
And that leads me down the path to what you think is do you think a deal could be made with some involvement, seeing you and say Natalia Markova showing up in NXT, SmackDown, Raw, having a moment, creating this atmosphere of, wait a minute, we've been told about a forbidden door, but something else is happening on the WWE island.
True. I would like to point out the technicality that me and Natalia both have been on WWE pay-per-views, as in the Evolve pay-per-view. I was actually the guy that stood in the ring and then boom, disappeared. Paul Heyman reappeared, and first time in 18 years at the ECW arena. So we did the WWE thing like that, and that was a crossover too, technically. But I wouldn't rule anything out. And I mean, hey, if they called upon me for something, why would I say no? I'm a wrestler. I'd get in there and do what I got to do. And I mean, would it be cool? Yeah. Short of that, I know it's fun to think about, but I don't want to sound too much like a company guy here, but I'm really excited for what we have going in our own bubble at the NWA. I really think there's a direction taking shape, and I think there was a rough patch, and there was some finding yourself moments, and but I think we did it. You know what I mean? I think whether we were or we weren't, I think it's easy to see that we're not in the weeds, and there's a direction, and there's a lot of good talent there.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love the women's champion, Kenzie Page. I think she's a rising star as well. So there's so many great people in NWA, and you brought up the rough patch, and it wasn't the wrestling, it was people's feelings about people versus the athleticism of the wrestlers.
Absolutely.
And social media can do that. It can really ruin the aura around your company, which is an accident.
Right, to a certain percentage, yeah. And exactly. You get it. We don't got to go into it.
No. I talked to Billy Corgan about this like 3 years ago. We already had this conversation. I think a couple times already.
But all true.
Yes, and the pandemic also really, I think, just
momentum killer.
Punched so many companies in the face multiple times because you had the momentum was soaring, and then pandemic happens, and everyone had to suddenly go, okay, well, what's a priority? Living is the priority here. Because nobody knew. And now I think you're right about NWA. It's on the upswing versus.
Well, here, let me tie it in with this and tie it in with my gig and whatever. So let's face it like this way. So contract or not, based on the Carneyland show, I started probably about 8 or 9 months ago, taking a bigger hand in the live events. Not to say that I didn't before that, because I kind of did almost upon my arrival in the company, because I saw the need for some help, and I gave help to where I could, without hitting a wall. And so in the last, let's just go through, let's just call it, since I've been taken hold of the steering wheel for the live events. First one was in Sarasota, Robarts Arena, which was last November, and we drew like 980 paid and a couple whatever comps. So we're over 1,000 people there in Sarasota, which was the biggest crowd of the Lightning One era, which is the Billy Corgan era. That was it. That was the biggest live crowd. That was my first show. Next show was like a sold out standing room only. It was actually like a double show. First, the NWA part sold out. The other people that got involved on their end didn't sell their end out, but we sold out our end. And that was in Fort Lauderdale. And then we went up to Dothan, Alabama, and we drew 1,530 paid and then another 200 something comp. So we were like something like 1,770. I don't know what it was.
Wow.
So up there, which again broke the record. So I broke the record twice, nearly doubled it. Then, we went to Forney, Texas was another. And in between, we have the studios. And by the way, in the studios, the attendance capacity, like we usually keep it low. Like we're talking 100 seats, 125 seats. Well, all those ones that happened in between the studio, we had at least 200 in every seat, always. And like I said, we were over stuff.
Oh, I think someone's calling him.
Somebody was calling. I didn't have my phone on standby, so I was doing that.
It's all good.
Anyway, so in between all those studio shows packed, and then debuted in Forney, Texas, outside Dallas, in a building where we listed our seating capacity at 515. I put 760 something in there, so I overfilled that one. And then the last one was Knoxville. We did a territory show, which was not featuring our full main roster and mixing in a lot of guys from the different territories, which is a whole other subject. And we did like 760 or whatever it was. It was a lot. So I'm saying like the houses are way up. Everything's going according to plan. We got a good team. We got a good thing going. And, can't thank the fans enough that are starting to come and support, starting to notice what we're doing. It's really awesome.
That's awesome to hear, man. Yeah, because when you get press releases from other companies, obviously they're all touting certain things, but also numbers can be skewed a little bit.
No, those are every number I gave you.
No, I'm saying that's why it's good to hear.
Finger in your eye. Sorry, I was trying to.
Brian.
All right, I'm going to stop messing with technology. So I was trying to make the standby thing happen, but we're not.
No, I understand. You swipe down.
But yeah, every number I gave you is that's an accurate number of
that's good to hear.
And comp and like I'm not trying to fudge numbers, and I could easily double it. It looks insane. Some of the pictures, those are the actual numbers, and I'm proud of those numbers. And I don't think they're anything to sneeze at if you take into the scope of where we are, what we're doing, and stuff like that. So I think it's a big brag being very accurate.